Regular BBC daytime viewers will recognise these giants of the antiques world who light up our screens with their wisdom and charm.
More than doubled my money.
But what sort of things do our experts get up to when they're not on the telly? Well, we're about to find out, as over the course of 1 week, we'll be seeing one pair of plucky heavyweight dealers face a different daily challenge. Some of those challenges will be familiar territory.
Yes!
Some will be pitching our experts into the unknown.
Bang, bang, bang.
They'll be going head-to-head in a battle for profit, showing us how they've risked their own money and reputations by recreating some of their real-life deals.
Profit, profit and more profit.
And if the stakes weren't high enough already, each expert has a favourite charity that will be benefiting from their profits. The challenge to our experts is clear. Put your money where your mouth is. Today's finely honed experts are the smooth-talking Jonty, the hitman Hearnden, and the irrepressible Eric Knocker Knowles. Jonty's status as the housewife's favourite comes from rooting around for cash in the attic and globe-trotting on sun, sea and bargain spotting. Eric, meanwhile, is very much the senior professional, with 27 years under his belt on the Antiques Roadshow. And he never lets the side down when it comes to being the most dapper dealer in the business.
Sorry, can't stop.
We have the experts, they have the knowledge, the contacts, and a fierce desire to win. So without further ado, it's time to find out the aim of today's game.
Mr. Hearnden, Knocker Knowles, how are you? I'm told to give you this, sir.
OK, well, I've been told to give you that.
OK.
So, let me... Shall I do the honours?
Yeah, what you got?
It says here, Eric and Jonty, your challenge today is to spend £250 of your own money on antiques. Now, you must then resell your purchases with the aim of making as much profit as possible. The winner is the presenter who makes the most cash.
Well, I've got this envelope here. What do we say here? Today, you must buy all your antiques from, wait for this one, a car boot fair.
Could be tricky.
Good luck, it says.
I think we're going to need
I
it.
think we are. I'll see you there.
I'll be waiting for you.
Today, our brave warriors are going to be battling it out in Colchester, in Essex. This ancient settlement claims to be Britain's oldest recorded town, and in its time it's been invaded by Romans, Normans, you name it. But today it's about to be conquered by one of our mighty antiques experts. It's 6 o'clock in the morning and the boot sale at Mark's Tay kicks into action. Today, 400 stallholders are going to be pitching up to sell to the public. And it's up to our discerning presenters to find some bargains amongst all that car boot booty. But just how are our generals going to wage today's campaign?
Now, when it comes to strategy, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to stick to what I know, and I'm not going to be tempted to be sidetracked by what appears to be a bargain, because I can tell you now, I've never come good on a potential bargain at a car boot. So I'm going to stick to ceramics and glass, and if I can find it, Art Nouveau and Art Deco.
On the far side of the field, brave Sir Jonty is preparing his battle plan.
Now, when you get to a boot sale, you might as well come as early as possible, because you know what they say, the early bird catches the worm. And what you need to do is to do it in a systematic fashion. So you start at one end and gradually go to the other end, otherwise you have no idea where you've been.
So the hitman is going to work his way methodically through the boot sale, whilst Knocker Knowles is going to stick to what he knows best. Unfortunately for them, a boot sale is not their favourite battleground. They've got to make as much money as possible for their chosen charities, so they'll be buying low and selling high.
How are you?
Not for me, no.
You got anything like that at the moment? See you.
See you later.
Whilst the hitman's setting his sights on every square inch of the field in search of those quality goods, Eric gets distracted by something which may be music to his ears.
Well, I can't resist going through piles of 45s, and invariably there's usually something in there that catches your eye, but I'm looking for the sort of obscurities, and there was an old Northern Soul favourite called Moonlight and Music and You, and I think it was by Ruby and the Romantics, but I'm not absolutely certain. It's on London American recordings, and it goes back to sort of 1963 or 64. But I'm going to take a punt on it, and I'm also going to take a punt on this one. I love this record. It's Runaway by Del Shannon. Pure nostalgia. It just reminds me of Hot Summer's Day in, what year was this? Come on, Eric. 1960. When the highlight of my day was a Knickerbocker Glory. How much are they, my love?
50p each.
50p each. I think, I'll tell you what, we'll splash out. OK, I'm not even going to haggle at that price, am I?
£1 for 2 records sends Eric to the top of the boot sale charts.
Hello there.
Morning, how are you?
On the other side of the field, the hitman is having a tough time finding quality items.
What have you got? Are you here every week or?
Most weeks, yeah.
Are you?
Most weeks.
Is he setting his sights too high?
How much is your teddy?
50p.
It's far too much.
Whilst Jonty continues his search, Eric's sticking to his strategy of only buying what he's familiar with.
Well, I like this. I'll tell you I like it. Because it's a piece of souvenir wear, a present from Pontypool, and it's got sort of Welsh costumes. Now, it's no great work of art, but it probably dates to about 1880 or 1890. And it says here, a bidding in Wales. Now, I'm ashamed to say that's a mystery to me at the moment. But Welsh costumes, well, there's always a demand for Welsh costumes, so I'll just... What's the price on this?
£3.
£3?
Yeah.
£3? You've got yourself a sale. I mean, it's what makes this even more unusual, I should point out to you, is that it's a left-handed cup, because my dad taught me all about these things. £3.
Yeah.
OK. Well, I think I've done all right there. I'm happy with that, £3.
He may not be the last of the big spenders, but at least Eric's buying something, which Jonty is still struggling to do.
How much are you asking for the pair?
Be £200, I suppose.
£200 for the pair. And you're asking £30 for it? 50 to £70?
Yeah.
2 for £2 strawberry, look there, Mum.
And this is in good condition, is it?
Yeah.
Strawberry or cherry, 2 for 2, quick.
How much is your jug, sir?
That's 120.
Not for me, but it's interesting how the world goes round, eh?
Yeah.
The challenge of any car boot sale, however large, is that you've got to sort the wheat from the chaff. And by definition, there's an awful lot of chaff.
Jonty might be right, but if he wants to beat Eric, he needs to start sorting a lot quicker, because Knocker Knowles is making hay whilst the sun shines.
Now, that's interesting. Not one, but two. Toronto, Ontario. I go here quite a bit. So I've got a few mates in Toronto, and I wonder if they're in the market for a couple of plates. It says on here, Adam's Tunstall. Funnily enough, I was in Tunstall yesterday. Do I really want them? Well, maybe they want them. Hey-o, I'm in this business to make some money, so how much for the plates?
They're £5, sir.
£5.
I'll tell you what, I'll do them for £2 if you're going to beat at Jonty Hearnden.
£2 to beat?
£2.
What a treasure. You're on. It's nice to have friends in high places, isn't it?
So it looks like Knocker's got the stall holders rooting for him in today's bout. The hitman needs to shape up, look sharp and get his groove on if he's going to triumph today. Jonty might be a bit of a hit with the ladies,
They won't suit me.
but it's buying fever he needs to catch if he's not going to get left behind by Eric.
Morning. How are you doing? Now, there's a couple of girls stalling out. They're still unwrapping over there. And there's something out of that box that looks really interesting. Oh, what have we got here?
Some figurines.
Yeah,
I think
how much are
one's
these?
Dalton.
Yeah.
Dalton. These ones £10 each. She's 15 because she's larger.
So tell me about these figures. Where were they from?
They were from a shop that was closing down.
How much would you have paid for this larger
For the
figure?
larger one, probably about £70.
£70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not the space anymore at home for
No.
keeping them.
You're clearing out your cabinets?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. So how much for the group of 3?
10, 20, 35, 30 for the group of 3,
30.
30.
You take 20 for the lot?
No, 25. Because I know they're expensive and I know they're good.
No. I've got to trade with them. Got to make a profit.
Jonty desperately needs to seal this deal, but that lady isn't giving him an easy ride, and his wily opponent has decided to check up on his negotiating techniques.
Now, this is just what I need. Now, let's have a see if I can spot that Jonty Hearnden.
What did you say for the lot?
20 for the whole lot.
22.50.
I have to trade,
I know.
and you're lovely.
Nice line, Jonty, but will that famous Hearnden charm have the desired effect?
I have to be 20, I'm afraid. Can we do that for me?
Yes, I'll do that for you.
Yeah.
So you look like a respectable gentleman.
My word, Jonty's charm offensive seems to have worked.
There's a rare sight.
I'll see the money first.
Thank you very much
Lovely.
indeed.
Oh, I don't believe it. I've just seen the man's wallet.
Our ladies' man has managed to get his hands on some shapely female figures, but what exactly has he ended up with?
So let's take a closer look at our figurines. If we take a look, first of all, at the larger figure here, on the underside here you can see that it says Royal Dalton, and it says Yours Forever. So this is the name of the figure. And what I like about this particular figure, and on the others too, is that we've got this label on the underside still here. It says Royal Dalton inspected by. Don't ever take those off because it certainly adds value. Price-wise, £20 is a real bargain. I'm hoping that I'm going to double that, but who knows in this market. Am I going to sell them at auction? Am I going to find a collector? I'm not quite sure yet. I need to do my homework.
So, as our elite antique athletes complete their first lap of today's boot sale, it's time to find out who's in pole position and who's stuck on the starting line. Remember, our boys each have a budget of up to £250. Jonty splashed out £20 on his first item, leaving him with £230 left to spend. Eric has racked up 3 purchases but has only parted with £6, so he's still got £244 left to spend. So as the starting gun sounds for lap 2 of today's boot sale race, there's nothing to choose between our 2 experts. But Eric, last of the big spenders, Knowles, is on the hunt for more bargains.
I like that. This is a bottle that was made for Guerlain. The top's plastic, so it isn't all glass, a little screw twist. Date-wise, probably 1950s, 1960s. For a nice bottle, I just wish it had the paper label, but how much for the bottle?
£2.
£2. Okay, that is a deal done.
Thank you
okay,
very
let me
much.
dig deep.
£2? At this rate, Knocker could still be here in 2 weeks spending his money.
Well, I've homed in on this simply because of the colourway, because, you know, without turning it over, when you get these sort of dark sagey greens and this sort of black transferred design, that you're dealing with a piece of Ridgeway, and yes, we're dealing with a piece of Ridgeway. Royal Vista ware. This sort of thing dates to around about 1905, 1910. This one is priced at £2. I'm not even going to quibble at that price. I'm just going to pay it.
That's another £2 bargain. And there are no prizes for guessing what Eric's bought next.
Well, I've just bought myself a soup plate for £1. I mean, there's no way I'm going to sort of haggle on that sort of price. And to be frank with you, I rarely haggle at these events because if I think something's worth it, I'll just buy it. It's a bit of a myth that dealers love haggling. They don't. If the truth is told, they want to get that price first time around. And this particular plate dates to around about 1840. And if I can sell it for a £5, I'll be doing well. The main issue here is I'm in with a profit. And that's the name of the game.
It certainly is, Knocker. Don't forget, Eric did say that China was one of the things he was going to concentrate on, and he's been as good as his word. But the hitman has also been busy, and his expert eye is trained on a target that he thinks might pour a handsome profit into his kitty.
Now, if you have a little look on that table there, there's a jug and a set of 6 drinking glasses. At the right price, they're worth a little punt. here, we've got this iridescent glass, we've got the painting of the flowers on the front, and I love the fact that we've got this green handle, and there's a delicate touch of gold or gilt around the top. Now, this is French because in the UK, we never really produced drinking vessels like this, so they've been imported into the UK at some point. And I think they're great fun because glasses like this can now be used as large wine glasses, so I like the set.
So Jonty likes what he sees, but can he get it for the right price? It's time to apply that famous Hearnden charm again.
Excuse me, how much is this set?
£10.
What's your very best?
8.
Take a fiver.
No, sorry.
OK, £8 it is. Sold.
Ooh, a swift left-right from the hitman. Saved £2 there, but is it enough? He's just spent £3 more than he wanted to, so he better have a good excuse.
Being a dealer sometimes is all down to a gut instinct. And my gut tells me that paying £8 for that set means that there has to be a profit in it somewhere. Quite a big one, hopefully.
So Jonty's now got 2 buys under his belt, but he needs to speed up if he wants to emerge victorious from today's battle. Meanwhile, Eric splashed the cash. Knowles has decided it's time to break into his piggy bank and go crazy with the coins.
I've paid 40p for that, and if I get 80p, I'll be doing OK, but I'll ask £1.
He's also picked up a rather smart flower vase.
I thought I'd speculate. £1.
And finally, is this a dagger I see before me? No, it's another £2 plate.
We've got the Bard of Avon, Mr. William Shakespeare himself. But hark, what light through yonder window breaks, I hear myself almost saying. You wouldn't think I'd spent 3 years at RADA, would you?
Alas, poor Eric, we certainly wouldn't. Well, as Eric brushes up on his acting skills, wherefore art thou, Romeo Hearnden?
It's amazing. Wherever I go in the market, there are models of Eric everywhere.
Ooh, that's a little hard on the knocker, Jonty. Come on, gentlemen, we want to see a clean fight. Before we sound the bell on round 3 of today's clash, it's time for our 2 contenders to catch up.
So what have you got? Because I've only got shrapnel left in my pocket.
Oh, really? Judge of hay, big spender, eh? Well, I'm not saying too much, but you see that huge Pantechnicon over there that's just arrived?
What says Knocker Knowles on the side?
Knocker
of it?
Knowles, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. And what's more, I've only spent a tenner.
Well, you might be laughing, Jonty, but Eric's almost telling the truth. Don't forget, each of our experts can spend up to £250. So far, Burnley's favourite son has spent a grand total of £14.40. He's still got over £235 left to spend. It could take him 5 boot sales to spend that kind of cash. Jonty, meanwhile, has spent the dizzying amount of £28. That's exactly twice the amount that Knocker's parted with. Despite their best efforts, neither of our experts has set this boot sale alight. They've both still got over £200 left to spend, and there's all to play for.
Tell me about these pots.
There's not a lot to tell. They're just old pots we've had. Plants have gone in the ground, they got too big for them.
Yeah.
I'm looking to get rid.
You want to get rid of. So what's your very best price?
65.
65.
Yep,
Is that your very best?
it is.
I'll give you 50.
No, 65.
55.
65.
You're very, very hard.
Called business.
60 it is then. All right?
Deal.
Yeah? Jolly good.
Thank you.
Purchased. These are so impressive. They're very, very large oriental pots. We've got this amazing applied dragon around the outside, and above we've got the Greek key pattern, which is, believe it or not, originally Chinese. How these pots were made is that they were all hand thrown, so on a massive, great big wheel. So if you take a closer look on the inside, you can see the ring marks on the outside where it's literally been thrown on a huge wheel. It would be fired the once, and then fired a second time with this glazing applied on the outside. So there's an awful lot of work's gone on here. And I bought these because I've got a very good friend of mine who is interested in buying a pair of very large pots. I paid £60 only for them, and I'm hoping that I'm going to double my money.
So a bit of potluck there for Jonty. Eric, meanwhile, is still wrapped up in the minutiae of this boot sale.
Now, here's a little bit of friendly advice for you. When you go to a car boot, don't just look on the top of the table, but have a good rummage through the boxes underneath, because many a sleeper has been found in a cardboard box before today.
Yes, looking out for those hidden gems is great advice, but rather than telling us where to look, it's time to find one yourself, because the pressure's building as Jonty spots a piece with a certain je ne sais quoi.
I'm a big fan of these glass table centres. They're from France, and certainly the clear ones, I think you can do an awful lot with these. They were really designed as centerpieces, so they're designed as fruit bowls, but they were designed as ornaments as well. And really what you're looking for is to make sure that they're in very, very good order. So you're looking for no chips and no scratches on the bottom. So I can't see any chips on the top here at all. And I'm looking on the underside here, and there's hardly any scrapes at all on the bottom, which is a very good sign. So if this is the right price, I'm going to see if I can trade with it. Excuse me, sir, how much is this?
£10, sir.
Would you take 8?
Yes, sir.
You've got yourself a sales hat. £8 for a French piece of glass. Fabulous. I'm sure I can double my money with this. If I can't get 20 quid, I'm doing the wrong thing. I think it's a lovely object, and I'm convinced I'm going to make a profit. Another really good buy.
After a slow start, Jonty finally seems to be getting into his stride, and what a fine stride it is. Knocker, meanwhile, is leaving no stone unturned in his quest for potentially profitable pieces, and he thinks he's found something that could be priceless.
Well, there is a bargain at every car boot, and today it just happens to be this treasure of a book written by, dare I say, moi. What a treasure.
Maybe the book could be sold to the Eric Knowles fan club, if he's watching. Eric might have piled up some bargain basement buys, but if he's to have any chance of beating the hitman, he desperately needs to bag himself a piece that could produce a major profit.
You know, believe it or not, I have a certain interest in old bowls, because a good early Edison from the 1880s can be worth, well over £1,000. This is not of any great vintage, much above 1920s, 1930s. I don't know. I think I'll give that one a miss.
Yes, Eric's running out of time and bright ideas. The clock is ticking, but will he be willing to take a gamble by spending big?
That's nice. Now, you look at something like this and you think, that looks like 18th century Delftware. It's actually relatively modern. It's Isis pottery, very authentic, and you'd swear it was 18th century from a distance. And we got quite a lot. Dare I ask, I presume it's all in pretty good order, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Well, I want the lot, so can we do a deal?
Yeah, £20.
£20 a lot?
Yeah.
£20. Just put it right in there.
Thank you very much.
It's a done deal. Well, I'm very pleased with that, but I've got this major frustration. I love this stuff and I want to keep it. I don't want to sell it. And my other frustration is not knowing what that Jonty Hearnden is up to and whether or not he's ahead of the game. Somehow, I don't think so.
Eric, a piece of advice, old boy. Stop worrying about the hitman and focus on spending your cash. £20 might have doubled the amount he spent today, but he's still got over £200 left in the kitty. Jonty spent the most, but with people packing up and heading home, both our antiques experts are frantically searching for items that will give them the advantage in this car boot showdown.
Here I'm scrambling on all fours here.
You do 20 for the group, £30.
A tenner, right. Do you mind me asking how much the plates are?
£70.
Yeah.
20 quid.
Well, it's got 97 on the bottom there.
I don't know whether I want it or not.
How much is this?
How much is it?
Will you take a £5?
No. If it ain't there, Eric, it ain't there.
Can you tell me anything about this flute?
I don't know the make of it. I bought it from a tabletop sale.
And how much are you asking for it?
I'm asking £30 for it.
Is it all in working order? Have you
Yes.
ever seen it used or?
Yes, it works.
And you're asking £30 for it?
Yeah, £30.
What's your very best price?
25?
I was thinking more like 20.
No, 25.
Can you squeeze any more? Can I squeeze?
The lowest is 24.
24.
That's the lowest I'll go.
All right then. £24?
Yes, 24.
Okay. I think we'll have a sale there, please.
Lovely.
Let me get the money out.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You
Cool.
could go busking now.
Do you think?
Yes,
So if I set myself on the corner,
that's right.
do a bit
and
of
then
busking.
You could get your money back what you
I
paid
could-
for that.
that's a very good
That's
tip.
good.
Thank you. Thank you for that. See you later.
Well, it might have been a tough day, but it's going to take more than a bit of busking to win this game. With the stall holders and customers all heading for home, it's time to find out who's been on the ball and who deserves the red card. Remember, our experts had a budget of £250 each. The hitman has spent £120 on 5 items. That's less than half the cash he could have spent. But he looks like a lottery winner compared to his rival, because after a hard day at the boot sale, knocker Knowles has parted with a princely sum of £35.40. Now, don't forget that the aim of the game is to make as much profit as possible by buying the car boot stash and selling it on. But before our two warriors set about selling their wares, there's just time for them to compare notes and cast their eyes over their opponent's booty.
I'll tell you what, mate, that was hot going, wasn't it?
So what have you got there?
Well, I've got a
Unbelievable.
boot full of very fine ceramics, as you can see. And I can see you've been,
What do you think about these?
well, I think big might be the word, yes?
I was told that they came from the Imperial Palace from Peking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think there's more chance of them coming from the Imperial Chinese takeaway in Burnley than Peking. What I have got for you, and you can have it for £3, the absolute bargain of the morning. It's called Victoriana, an antiques checklist, yes, by moi.
Eric Knowles.
By moi. So £3 and it's yours. What do you say? Is that a deal?
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it?
No, I'm not paying £3.
£2.
£1.50.
You're on.
Okay.
Okay, £1.50, cash.
Right.
Oh,
£1.50.
there you go.
There you go, sir.
Well, it was a pleasure doing business with you.
I know.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, off you go and sell now.
Yeah, I am. I'm thinking who on earth's going to buy all that stuff.
That's very true.
But there you go.
Wish you luck.
No, you don't.
That's very true. See you later.
See ya.
We've reached the halfway stage of today's challenge, and the aim now is to make as much profit as possible. It might not be much, but Eric's just made a 50p profit from his book. And he's also going to be trying to sell a collection of plates, a pair of nostalgic records, some assorted china, and a pair of vases. The hitman will be looking to trump him with 3 figurines, a set of glasses with a matching jug, 2 huge pots, a flute, and a French glass bowl. So, after a titanic tussle at the Colchester car boot sale, our dynamic duo have returned home to get ready for the second part of today's contest. The aim now is to sell on their wares and make as much profit as possible. Both our auction house experts found it tough out of their comfort zone and in a car boot field. They've both drawn up what they hope will be winning strategies.
Well, I'm back from the boot sale, and I thought I bought very well. I spent in total no more than about £40, but I mean, I seem to get an awful lot for my money, and I'm particularly pleased with the Isis pottery because it's not something that normally people see on telly. So I'm really pleased to have those pots, and I think they'll do well. Why do they have to start them at the crack of dawn? I'll never know. So if I'm looking a bit, you know, weak or white behind the gills, early starts don't suit me.
Well, it's been a bit of a hot day at the car boot market, and the dust was flying. But I'm glad we got there early because people were still stalling out. I thought, oh, I bought rubbish. What did he buy? My word. What's he going to make on it? Crockery? My word. He's got his work cut out. Eric, you got your work cut out. So have I, though. Who on earth is going to buy my stuff? I have no idea.
Well, they might have similar plans, but the real test is who can put their plan into practice and make the most money from the items they've bought. Jonty's laid out one or two of his pieces in his antique shop, and the Royal Dalton figurines have attracted some interest, but can he make more than the £20 he paid for them?
I've just bought these, actually. These are Royal Dalton figurines. I'm asking for £50 for the set of 3. Is that something that might be interesting?
That sounds just about
Okay.
right.
They are named. So that's yours forever.
Right. Could I look at the other 2?
Sure.
please?
This one is Harmony. OK, and she's in very good order as well.
Yes.
All right.
They actually look rather nice together, don't they?
Well, I bought them off a lady who obviously bought them as a set. And I think she paid, but don't tell anyone this, I think she paid £75 for the big figure.
Oh, so I'm doing all right.
Well, I think so, yeah. So I'm asking £50 for the whole lot. Would you like to buy them?
I would indeed.
Fantastic.
Yes, please.
All right.
They'll be perfect.
Excellent. Well, let me wrap them for you.
Thank you.
OK, if you'd like to come around here and follow me.
Right.
Nicely done, Jonty. Quality pieces and a bit of the famous Hearnden charm have helped him seal the first deal of the day.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Bye-bye.
He's banked a £30 profit for the figurines, and with his rival off to a flying start, Burnley's favourite son has jumped into his car and headed off to one of his favourite antique centres. He's hoping to try and make a profit on the soup plate and Welsh cup and saucer that he shelled out a grand total of £4 for.
Aha! I found you. Hello.
Good to see you.
And you too. Well, first out of the box is this soup plate. You like it?
Yeah.
Well, I've done a bit of research on this. Do you recognise it for being any particular factory or...?
I think it's Scottish.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're stolen me thunder there. Date-wise, I think we're looking at, what, about 1830? So it's got some age to it. There's no scratching, there's no chips, no cracks or anything like that. So that's that. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you, that's the saucer, and that is the cup. And, you know, I really rate this. You get lots of these prints with Welsh weddings and Welsh costumes. But for me, this one ticks all the right boxes. A bidding in Wales. You come across that before?
No.
Well, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is when a married couple are presented with gifts upon their marriage. And all the gilding's there. It's as good as the day it was made. Just have a look at it. And just nicely enamelled on top of transfer.
Yeah, it is. It's very nice. I tell you, I'm a great fan of Pontypool wares, toll ware.
Oh,
so
yes.
for me, this does it for me, just because I like Pontypool. So.
There's no doubt that the knocker can talk the talk, and it sounds as though he's found the right buyer. But how much can he persuade this lady to part with for his car boot crockery?
I was looking for about £12 on that. And as for the cup and saucer, again, I was looking for maybe £13 of that. So I'm looking at sort of 25 for the 2. Julia, I'm open to persuasion.
OK, well, I was thinking probably about 10 for the plate, maybe another 10 for the cup and saucer, but, you know,
All right.
you part way if you want.
£10, £20, it's a done deal.
Deal.
OK?
Yeah, spot on.
That certainly is spot on. Eric's made a quick £16 profit on his china, and I think it's fair to say that he's a happy man.
I do like dealing with people who are passionate about pots. Collectively, we call ourselves potaholics, and Julia is definitely coming under that heading. So it's nice to know that they've gone to a good home. Apart from that, all I can say is it's not easy these days to find profit margins of that magnitude, but where there's a will, there's a way. So on that note, it's once more onto the breach, dear friends. Once more onto the breach.
Well, it sounds like Eric's potty about winning this contest. The hitman, though, is just as determined to win, and after making a healthy profit on the Royal Dalton figurines, he's hit the phone to try and sell his jug and 6 glasses.
Hi. Yes, hi, it's Jonty here. Hello, I wonder if you could help me. Yes, hello, I wonder if you could help me. 1930s, but it's not Art Deco, but it is of the period. French 1930s. It's a jug and 6 glasses. £20 for them. Just £20, yeah. You're not buying anything at the moment. OK, thanks so much. Bye. Hi. Are you interested in glass at all? 1930s glass? Are you in the buying mood? Are you in the buying mood at the moment? Yeah, it's only £20. Not interested. Do you know anybody who is? It's a drinking set. It's French. Thanks. Bye. I think I've used up all my contacts. I think I've made a bit of a mistake there. Having said that, I only paid £8 for this drinking set. So, next challenge is I'm going to put them in the boot of the car and see if I can sell them. I literally need to take them on the road and see if I can put them in through the door of an antique shop and see whether they'll take them, because they need to physically see them.
Jonty may have failed to sell his drinking set on the phone, but his rival has been much more successful. Mr. Knowles has rung round his contacts and managed to find a buyer for the Canadian plates.
I'm prepared to sell you mine for £20 plus postage and packing. Well, there you are. There's a man who can't resist a good deal. Good on you. Yeah, speak to you soon. Bye, Dave. Just like that.
He's also offloaded the classic records.
£3. Terry, do you want them? OK. Yes, I'll cover the postage.
He's now sold 4 of his purchases and made a good profit on them, but Eric's not a man to show mercy. He's determined to give Jonty a lesson in turning a princely profit, so he's dug deep into his celebrity black book of antiques aficionados, put on his glad rags and headed off to London for what he hopes will be a profitable date.
Well, I never thought I'd ever join the Shepherd's Bush sort of cafe society, but I'm in this particular watering hole because this is a rendezvous point for me and a certain vivacious actress, name of Julie Peasgood. Not just an actress, I should point out, but also a Royal Shakespeare Company actress of many years standing. And no sooner said than the lady appears.
Hello. You look fantastic.
And you too.
Oh, how lovely to see you.
Come on, I've got you the prescribed.
Well, it may be good to catch up with old friends, but Eric's not here for a gossip. He's a man on a mission, and that mission is to make profit on the Wedgwood dish he bought for £2.
Let me get straight to the point. I was going in at bargain basement with this at £7. I mean,
How does a £5 hard cash sound?
the hard cash sounds absolutely great. The £5, well, it's the colour of your money that I really want to see.
Yeah, and I'm getting my purse out even as you speak.
Show it. OK, all right. Fair trade.
Smells good.
Looks good.
Thank you.
It's yours, darling.
Thank you very much. That's a beautiful piece. Thank you. I like that.
OK.
Thank you very much.
Well, they say good things come in threes, and Eric's just sealed 3 deals in a row.
Well, all that for a £3 profit. But the main thing is, I'm in profit, and that is my motivation for getting out of bed in the morning at the moment, is to be not just 1 step ahead, but 100 steps ahead of that opposition, that 7-foot boy Hearnden. And this place being a good place for a rendezvous point simply because it's got an age restriction, so there's very little chance of being interrupted by the boy who would be king.
Yes, and speaking of that 7-foot boy, he's headed out from Hearnden HQ to try and sell his drinking set. Thanks to Eric's run of success, Jonty's fallen behind in the race to make the most profit, and it looks like the hitman could be getting a bit desperate.
Excuse me, could I interest you in a drinking set? You know, glass in one hand, cigar in the other. Yeah? No? He's not responding.
He may be struggling, but Jonty's not a man to give up. He'll fight Eric on the beaches, in the hills, and in the charming villages in the Garden of England.
I'm travelling through Kent at the moment, and I'm a bit desperate. So all I'm going to do with my drinking set is to go into shops to see whether they're going to be interested. I'm only asking 20 quid.
He might not want much for that set, but he's already failed to sell it on the phone, and if he doesn't want to fall further behind Eric, he needs to put that boyish charm into overdrive.
Oh, hello, Jonty.
Hi there, can you have a look at the contents of my box here?
I will, yeah.
got this drinking set. It's French, 1930s, and it's got this nice iridescent look to it. So that's the jug there. I'm afraid it needs a bit of a clean. So
I can see that, Jonty.
that's that. And this is the glass. This is the shape of the glass. And the reason why I was attracted to the whole set, because we've got 6 of these drinking vessels, is that the goblets are big enough to be multifunctional, so I think you get wine in that. So I think there's a commercial aspect to that, so I don't know what you think.
I think it's quite nice. I quite like the size of the glasses.
Yeah. Now, I told you this is a big ask. I'm asking the grand sum of £20.
Oh, how can I refuse at £20?
Do you think you sell them?
I think I can sell them.
Okay, I think we should drink to that.
So do I.
Cheers.
And cheers.
Well, those glasses might be missing the vintage that Jonty's fond of, but the hitman is toasting a much-needed sale. It's been a tough first round of buying for our experts, and whilst he's on his way home, Eric has decided to give his opponent a quick call.
Well, today's been a bit of a slog, I don't mind admitting it, and I've decided to take cover in the car while this sort of shower passes over, but I really need cheering up. So what do you do in circumstances like this? You ring up the opposition in the hope that they're having a worse day than you are. So let's give Mr. H a ring. Here we go.
Jonty Hearnden, purveyor of fine antiques.
Oh, I've got the wrong Jonty Hearnden.
You got the wrong number.
No, is this Jonty Hearnden? You said purveyor of fine antiques.
Yeah.
Where did you buy those?
You'll be that's Knowlesy, isn't it? That's Knock and Knowles.
Yeah, Knock and Knowles to you. Knock and
How the devil are you, sir?
Well, I'm running up the miles. I don't mind admitting it. And
now, how's all the selling of all that crockery going?
Well, I mean, people want crockery. You know, they do. Oh, they really do.
For what purpose, pray ask?
Well, they like to look at it. You know, like people sort of buy your furniture to sit on.
Yes.
Which I think is a bit of an affront, really, isn't it? But no, people like to buy my fine bone china and an oriental miscellanea. And in fact, they're actually forming a queue outside the car as we speak. Yes.
Okay.
I'm thinking of getting crowd control in just to sort them out. So tell me all about yourself. What's moving?
Everything's sold, mate.
You're completely sold out. Well, I'm very impressed.
Yes.
Momentarily, it'll soon pass. And I can't say as much myself because, to be frank with you, I'm not in the position where I have to give the stuff away. I can hang on to it, waiting for the best price.
Well, I think you might be struggling just to give it away.
Well, he who laughs last laughs loudest. I'll leave it to your day.
Okay, very nice speaking with you. Take care.
Okay, au revoir again. Cheerio.
Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Eric just talked the hind leg off a donkey. He's got all that crockery to sell. Who wants broken bits of crockery? I have no idea. Poor man. Poor Eric.
I know he's lying through his teeth. I can tell when people are fibbing. And he was fibbing big time.
I don't think anyone was fooled there, but as they're halfway through selling their car boot treasures, it's time to find out whose pockets are full of gold and who needs to dig a bit deeper. So far, Jonty may have only sold 2 items, but he's banked £42 in profit. Eric has sold 5 items, but he's only made £39 worth of profit. With plenty of items still left to sell, today's clash of the antiques titans could still go either way. So the hit man has decided to hit the road to sell his remaining items.
I'm definitely a travelling salesman. I feel like more like a travelling gigolo. I'm the housewife's husband's enemy rather than best friend. Because every time I turn up, I get the wives to spend the money.
Yes, Jonty is not our only gigolo. As you might have noticed, old Knocker is also one for the ladies. But who is the ultimate lovejoy? You decide.
Stupid boy.
Well, you know, I always wait till I see his car drive away.
With today's competition so close, the housewife's husband's enemy is moving in for the kill. He's meeting a client at one of his favourite watering holes to try and sell the French glassware, and he's hoping to get more than £8 for it.
Now, when I saw this looks like a speeded up film, a sort of a still of a splash of water.
Yes,
to me, that
yeah.
looks like that moment in time when the stone has hit the water. It has that splash element to it, and that's what I find so attractive about it. Now, when it comes to glass, the most important thing is to make sure there's no chips or breaks. So here you can see there's no chips or damage on the top here. But where you do get damage is on the underside. So if I turn this one up, for instance, and you run your finger around here, if you can do that, can you see we've got a slight chip there? Now, that's, for my money, not so much a worry. If that had been any deeper or any bigger, then yes, there would have been a problem.
And how much is this?
This is £30.
That's really, really reasonable.
You think
very
so?
Good, yeah. No, very
Phew.
good indeed.
I thought you were going to say the other way.
I thought you were going to say an awful lot more than that.
Really? Well, I can always make it a bit more.
No, I think not. No,
Shall I
think
make it
this is-
300 for you?
No,
Perhaps I forgot the naught
No,
there.
this is perfect. Well, I think this is gorgeous, and
You
yes,
like it?
I would absolutely like to have this.
I think I'll drink to that then.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
C'est magnifique pour le hitman, or as we say in Blighty, well done, old chap. That's another impressive £22 profit for the French glassware, and it piles the pressure on his opponent. Knocker Knowles is an experienced and crafty campaigner, though, and he's hoping to make another treble strike by selling the Japanese vase, perfume bottle, and Ridgeway plate to a neighbour.
First thing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Satsuma.
Satsuma. I suppose, from a date point of view, 1890, 1910.
How much?
I thought around a tenner.
Oh, a little bit better than price than that, really.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah.
What about 8?
5?
You're a trier, aren't you? You're a trier. A 5, OK.
Done.
Listen, let's keep those wheels of commerce turning. Yep, all right, a 5. OK. Next item.
Well, £5 isn't much, but Eric has still made a profit on the vase, and he's hoping to get more than £2 for the perfume bottle.
And how much did you want for that one?
£12. Come on, you know, let's, because I don't want to do too much haggling here, because
No.
you're so much better at it than I am.
I'm not sure.
OK, I'll tell you what, £10 is that's me best as far as I'm concerned, all right?
Can I think about that one?
All right, think about that one.
Think about that
OK,
one
one.
for a moment, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
And finally, just a pure piece of really Edwardiana. It's one of those Ridgeway, Ridgeway Vista plates.
Yeah.
Always.
That's nice, I like that.
OK.
Best price?
The best price is a £5. That's
Okay.
it.
Done.
Done. All right.
Done.
So
Have that one.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I'll think about that one.
Yeah, OK.
I do like it.
You do? Well, you have a think about it.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, do you want to show me the colour of that? That's it, look at the... Oh, I've never... Oh, those are called 50s, aren't they? I've only read about those in books. All right. OK. Right.
Okay.
OK. Seal it with...
Super.
Sealed with a big smacker. Eric sold another 2 items, but with the perfume bottle unsold, he's falling behind Jonty. Now, he might be in front, but the hitman is not letting up on his quest to get the ladies of Oxfordshire to part with their cash.
I'm on the way to deliver the pair of garden urns. I'm delivering to a chum of mine, actually. She's asked me to look out for a pair of large garden urns, and I'm hoping these are going to be completely up her street. When it comes to being an antique dealer, it always seems to be free delivery, especially on the large items.
Well, it might be free delivery, but Jonty's hoping to make a handsome return on the urns.
Hi, Taz.
Hiya.
How you doing?
All right, my lovely.
I've got your urns.
They were his most expensive item, and he needs to sell them for more than £60 to make a profit.
They're big, aren't they?
You going to manage?
So get one out. Oh, they're quite heavy too. Oh. There you go. 2 of them. So you have a look. If you have a look at the dragons around the outside, can you see? So that's your tail. Where's his head? There we go. So we've got a pair of them. So we've got a massive, great big urn. Quite impressive, eh? And of course we've got 2 of them.
Fantastic, aren't
Do you like them?
I do.
It can be yours for £150.
OK, then.
Yes?
Yep.
You're a star.
150 quid.
Crikey! That's a fabulous sale from Jonty. It pours a massive £90 of profit into his coffers, and the hitman has now made £154 of profit from 4 items. Eric is falling further and further behind, and despite persuading his neighbour to part with 8 quid for the perfume bottle she was in 2 minds about...
£8 is the very, very best. Yes? Deal. Do you know, it was worth it just to see your smile.
He's still only made £55 worth of profit from 8 items. All is not lost for Knocker, though, because he's still got his star item, the Isis pottery, up his sleeve.
I'm here on a mission because I'm going to meet a lady who also shares a fascination and a love for Isis pottery, as does moi. So, oh, hello. I hope you're Susanna.
Hello, Eric. Nice to see you.
And you too. Well, I come bearing gifts.
How exciting.
Are you excited?
Very.
That's a good start.
Now remember, Eric paid the grand sum of £20 for this, so if he's going to have any chance of overtaking Jonty, he needs to make a huge profit.
For my money, this is one of the great unsung heroes of the British pottery business, Isis Pottery, located just outside Oxford, producing remarkable things. See, people often forget when you paint something like that, you only get one stab at doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got to do it right first time.
Yeah.
You can't rub it out and start again. And a proud mark on the back. I like anybody that puts a mark like that on the back. Is obviously proud of their pottery, and they've got every reason to be proud of it.
Well, Eric's talked up the pottery nicely, and whilst he decides how best to get the huge profit he needs to win, Jonty has returned to his old school to try and sell his final item. He's aiming to get more than £24 for his flute.
Come on then, Jonty, in you come.
There you go. So here you go, Trevor. Here's
So
the
this
flute.
is the flute you've been talking about?
Yes. I was in the car boot sale and it was staring at me saying, buy me, because it seemed to be quite a reasonable price. And I thought, I know, the music department could really use musical instruments, certainly second-hand musical instruments. And I just wonder what you thought about it.
Well, it doesn't look too bad, actually. It's in pretty good condition. All 3 parts here, mouthpiece and the main body of the instrument, which is this bit.
Yeah.
And then this bit fits on the bottom.
Okay. So what sort of cost is a brand new flute to a school?
You're looking at maybe 250 to 600, 650 pounds.
Wow. So you'd be happy to pay me 500 quid for the flute one?
Not for this particular instrument, no. This one we're looking at maybe 75 pounds.
That's wonderful. 75 pounds, I'm very happy.
But I have a little challenge for you. Should you be willing to do the forfeit, I'm sure we could double it up to 150 pounds.
Anything to beat Mr. Knowles.
I hope you've been doing your exercises. Come along, Jonty.
Getting paid for doing forfeits isn't in the rules of the game, but what exactly do the school have in store for Jonty?
And did those feet in ancient times walk upon England's mountains green?
Hey, let's look on the plus side. He's a great antiques dealer. Anyway, whilst Jonty continues to amuse the pupils of his old school, it's make or break time for Eric as he tries to get as much possible profit for the Isis pottery he picked up for 20 quid.
I don't have to really do the big sell on you for this, do I?
Probably not.
Probably not, no. Well, I'll be very kind, because I know for a fact that if I wanted to go out and buy these today, I would have to pay well over £400 because I've done my homework.
Right.
All right. Now, don't shake because, you know, it is one of those days where it's not quite your birthday, but it's the sort of thing that I'm going to offer at a one-off price.
Okay.
And you can either say yay or nay. I'm going to say £220 the entire lot.
I think it's...
Wow, this is a massive gamble for Eric. He's rolled the dice and asked his buyer to pay £200 more than the pottery cost him at the car boot sale. We'll find out if the lady said yay or nay when the final totals are revealed. So, after slugging it out for weeks on end, just how much cash have our experts made from their escapade? Remember, Jonty spent a total of £120, whilst Eric blew a miserly £35.40. And of course, all profits will be going to charity. So, who exactly is today's put your money where your mouth is champion?
Eric.
Hi, are you a regular at car boots?
No, I think you're the car boot king, aren't you? Is that right?
Well, you're a sport for choice when it comes to fine ceramics, aren't you?
Now, how'd you get on with all that crockery?
Well, I've become something of an expert in this and that, and you can abbreviate that to TAT. But I was playing this on a numbers game, on a percentage basis, and I don't want to worry you, but I mean, on one point, I got 300% return.
Because you bought less than, what, 50 quid's worth of stuff?
Under 40 quid. How much did you spend?
120.
Oh, well, I would say the percentages are working in your favour at the moment.
Well, we shall see.
Shall we see?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Go for it.
Oh, close!
Oh, boys in there again. Pip to the post. Every cloud has a silver lining.
Because there's always another day.
And there is another day, and there's also something called supper, and you've been singing for it, so you might as well pay for it.
Come on, this way.
Well, Jonty, as you've pushed the rules a bit by singing for your supper and making an extra £75, the least you could do is buy Knocker his dinner, especially after he ran you so close by netting a fantastic deal of £200 for his crockery.
I think actually it's a very fair price, and I'm very happy with it.
OK, all right, shall we?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
That's a pleasure.
Now, I was quietly confident I was going to whip Eric's hide. But when he revealed his figure, very close to mine, that was a bit of a shock.
Inwardly, I can see that lad's feeling a tad smug.
Poor Eric has to feel a bit gutted because he invested so little money and he had such a big return. So I'm feeling a bit sorry for old Eric today.
I'm feeling the pressure. If I go down tomorrow as well, it's all going to be over bar shouting, but I'm going to give that lad a run for his money.
It's been a battle of epic proportions, but most importantly, both our brave boys have made a profit, and those profits will be going to a good cause.
Oh. My chosen charity is the Chiltern Centre for Disabled Children, based in Henley-on-Thames. And it's a centre that supports local children, younger folk with learning and physical disabilities.
Well, I'm going to be doing battle for my chosen charity, which is Headway. Now, I just happen to be patron, and Headway do a fantastic nationwide job helping those poor folk who've suffered from debilitating brain and head injuries. It's not just the victims they help, but it's also all those affected, primarily the family. So I'm prepared to do battle for Headway.
But the competition doesn't stop here. Tomorrow, our experts will go head-to-head at a French antiques market. And once again, they'll face the challenge to put your money where your mouth is.
Really chuffed to bits.
I'm struggling. I don't mind admitting it.